How you doing, guys? Welcome back to another video with InfoSec Pat. In this video today, we're going to be talking about EIGRP and configuring it in Packet Tracer, getting two routers set up. You're going to see new adjacencies. You're going to see EIGRP configured, not different autonomous systems. We're going to create one autonomous system and have routing between one network and the other network. And I'm going to show you how to configure that, how to set it up. So without further ado, let's get into it. How you doing, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in this video, what we're going to be doing and setting up is EIGRP with two Cisco routers. It's going to be a very basic configuration, and I'm just going to show you guys if you want to understand how to configure EIGRP. It's an awesome routing protocol. Obviously, it used to be just Cisco proprietary. Now it's an open standard. Just if you didn't know that, it is that now. So if someone tells you, oh, EIGRP is just Cisco proprietary, that is not true anymore. So without further ado, let's get into this lab, okay? So I just wanted to save some time and set up the topology somewhat. I didn't connect it because I wanted to show you guys how to do that. But you can, bring out your switches, bring out your two routers, your PCs, and I just labeled the addresses here. This is how we're going to be configuring this layout, okay? Perfect. So with that being said, we can go ahead and start configuring it. So the first thing I'm going to do, I think I've done this in previous videos with, I think, the RIP version 2 video. So the way two routers connect to each other, we're going to do that with a serial, okay? So by default, there is no WIC card, okay, for the WAN. So we're just going to turn this off. We're just going to use this should be a WIC T1T, perfect. I'm going to go with that. And we're going to power this bad boy on, okay? Let that do its thing. Likewise for router 2. Let's turn this off. WIC 2, boom. Power back on, perfect. Let that do its thing. Okay, so now we have that set up. So the first thing is, let's go to the connections. We're going to go straight through from PC2, fast Ethernet to, doesn't really matter. Let's just do 20. And we'll do straight through from PC3 to 21. How about that? Okay. So then from from switch 1, we'll go from FA01 to FA00 as we see in this topology here. Okay. And then from here to here, we will be doing, let me close a few windows. Perfect. So let's go ahead and do from here to here. Perfect. So now we have our serial connection. And then now we can go ahead and get the straight through cable from 0 to port 1 here on the switch. And then we'll just do the same thing over here. I think we did to 20 and then PC5 to 21. Perfect. Now we got our stuff set up, and just as a reminder, all your switch ports are turned on by default and the router ports are shut down by default. I'm probably going to say this in every video that I probably do, just as a reminder. Okay. So the first things first, let's go ahead and configure the routers, okay? So I actually have the config here. If you guys need it and you need any help doing this, I would prefer you guys just give it a go yourself. And then if you need any help, we can go ahead and I can go ahead and help you. So let's go ahead and go to router 1, okay? So as I said previous videos, we can hit no here because that's a nightmare, going through the whole dialogue. So we're gonna hit enable, right? So we can do first show IP protocols, and we don't have any, right? Because we don't have any running protocols. We can do show IP interface brief, and that's gonna show us our interfaces. So we're gonna be configuring 000 for the 0000, and then fast Ethernet 0/0, okay? So first things first, we can go ahead and configure terminal. Now we're in config mode. And then let's go ahead, I just have my IP set up on this screen, so if you see me poke over here, so I don't have to toggle back and forth. So we're gonna go to interface, fast Ethernet, 0/0, that's the first interface that we're gonna be setting up. And then that one is IP address, 10.10.10.1 with a 24-bit mask. Okay, /24. Okay, so now we can just hit no shutdown. That brings that line up. Okay, so while we're in here, we can go to serial 0/0/0 because interface 0. Whoops, my bad. Okay, so now we're in that interface. So now we're going to configure the serial lines, the serial interface between router 1 and router 2. And obviously we are in router 1. So as you see up here, and with my OCD, I'm going to change the router name in a second. Okay, perfect. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go to IP address, and through the WAN link, we're going to go 10.10.20.1. Whoops. With a 24-bit mask. Okay, and then we're going to do a no shutdown. Perfect. All right, so now let's go ahead and hit end here. WR. So let me do this really quick so my OCD goes away. R1. Okay, perfect. So technically, if we're on PC1 or PC2 in this case, let's go ahead and configure the IP address. So this is PC2, 10.10.10.2, 24-bit mask. Okay, forgot the 0. Whoops, messed this up. My bad. That 2. See, since it's a Class A subnet, it's going to default as 255.0.0.0. Until we change the subnet mask, it's going to stick like that. So you have to change that to the right subnet that you're using. Okay. So my default gateway is going to be 10.10.10.1. Perfect. So now technically, if I go here, I should be able to ping 10.10.10.1, and it's replying. Perfect. So this side of the network is up. Okay, and let's see if we can ping 20.1. Wah, wah, wah. And I want to show you why. So let's go ahead and continue configuring. Okay, so because this link isn't up, obviously. So now we're going to be on router 2. Let's enable config T. Let's do first thing R2 so I can take away my OCD. Okay, so let's go back in here. Actually, I have the IP settings here. So now we're going to be configuring 10.10.20.2 on serial 000, and then for this side of the network, it's going to be 10.10.30.0, but I want to put 30.1 on this interface. Okay, perfect. So let's configure the interface. Interface fast Ethernet 0/0. Okay, perfect. And now with router 2, we're going to be doing IP address and then 10.10.30. Whoops, 30. Why isn't it on my keyboard? Okay, sorry. 255.255.255.0. Whoops. Yeah, I think there's something going on with my dots. All right, so now that is fast Ethernet 0/0. I mean 0/0. Okay, perfect. So 30.1, 30.1. Okay, so now we can do no shutdown. Perfect. Now we have that link up. So technically, if we go on to these PCs now, let's go bring this. I guess we can bring it over here. Desktop IP configuration. So this is PC4, so it's going to be 10.10.30.2 with a 24-bit mask. And then the gateway is going to be 10.10.30.1 because that's going to be the gateway. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and do some pinging. Ping 10.10.30.1. Perfect. So that side of the network is up. Okay, so let's go ahead and just configure this bad boy while we're at it. Okay, so IP configuration, and PC5 is going to be 10.10.30.3. Okay, 255.255.255.0. Perfect. And then our gateway is the same, 10.10.30.1. Perfect. Now our PCs are configured. Everything is in default VLAN 1 in here. This is configured. Let's go back into router 2. And let's go ahead, because I don't know where I ended up. Let's just do show IP interface brief. Okay, so we have to do serial 0. Okay, perfect. So we can do interface serial 0/0/0. Now we're in that interface. Perfect. So now what we're going to do is IP address. My IP address for this side is going to be 10.10.20.2 with a 24-bit mask. Perfect. No shutdown. Okay, perfect. Now we can save that config. So now the interfaces, let's X out. The interfaces are set up. The PCs are set up. So let's see. If you ask yourself, I want to be on PC2, where my IP address is. I guess I never did an IP config. IP config. So you're on this PC, right? My IP is 10.10.10.2. So I'm in Office 2 or whatever you want to call it, Office 2, Office 3, Office 1, Office 2. And we're trying to get to the network 10.10.30.x. Can we hit that? What do you think? Think about that for a second. I'm going to verify it. Let's see. 10.10.30.1. The reason being is because from router 1, it doesn't know how to forward that packet over to router 2. It doesn't have any routing to go from router 1 to router 2. If there's no static routes, there's no RIP, there's no EIGRP, there's no OSPF, there's no way to know how to get that over there. Okay, perfect. So now let's do some fun stuff. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and configure the big guy, what we're here for, EIGRP. Okay, so let's go to R1. Okay, so we're just going to go to end. We're going to do show IP route before. Okay, so we have the two static routes, right? We have the connected routes, sorry. The connected routes between serial 000 and fast Ethernet 00, right? Perfect. But see, D equals to, or it's for EIGRP. So now let's go ahead and create that. So the commands and what we're going to be configuring is router. If you do the question mark, we're going to be doing the enhance interior. I was trying to read it slow, but enhance interior gateway routing protocol. Okay, so we're going to do EIGRP, and then we have to do an autonomous system. We're going to do 10. You know, I feel like a 10 today. So now we're in there, right? So now what we have to do is set up the networks. And remember, I have a little diagram over here as well. So we're going to do network. So the network, and I want to show you here as well so we can look at this together. Actually, let me do this. Bring this bad boy over here so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, let's bring this over here. This is as best as I can. Okay, so okay, perfect. So first things first, we have to add the 10.10.10 network so it knows how to get to that network. Okay, so we do network 10.10.10.0, and remember that's a 24-bit mask. Okay, that's network 1. What do you think network 2 is? Did you get it? It's 10.10.20, right? Because that is the next network that we have to get across the WAN link, right? In this case, across the link. So now with that, that is our configuration for EIGRP on router 1. So let's do end here. router. Let's do show IP route now. And obviously, I wanted to show you this because people will be like, oh, my EIGRP is not showing up. It's not working. Or even if I do show IP EIGRP neighbors, there's nothing yet because you have to configure the other side of the router. Okay, so now we should be done with router 1. Okay, so now let's go ahead and open up router 2. Okay, perfect. So let's end here. Let's exit. Okay, perfect. So now in here, we're going to do the same exact thing. Router, EIGRP, the autonomous system 10. Okay, so but on router 2, what do you think that is now? That's going to be 30, 10.10.30 because this side of the network, and then 10.10.20. Okay, so network 10.10. 20.0, 255.255.255.0. Perfect. Now we have an adjacency, right? You see the neighbor. Sometimes it takes about 30 seconds, but now let's go ahead and add 30. Okay, perfect. Now we have the adjacency between the two routers. And here, and this is a very basic configuration. Just for the beginners to understand different. Now we're going to do some show commands that are very useful in here. Okay, so let's do WR, and let's go back to router 1. Okay, now we don't need because now we have everything configured. So now you can see here the adjacency. We have a new neighbor. Okay, so now if we do show, actually we can just hit the up arrow. Boom. Now we have neighbors, right? So now if we do show IP route EIGRP, now we can see our route in the routing table for EIGRP. Okay, so let's see, we can do show run, and we can see it in the running. Let's see it in the running config right here. It's auto summarizing. So if we we didn't negate that, so that's why this is in here. And that's the, this is the EIGRP settings in our router. So let's go ahead and go, we're in here. So what else can we do? We can just do show IP route, and we can see now the connection, just like how we just did show IP route EIGRP, and we can do show IP EIGRP. Let's see, what else can we do? Topology. So we can see everything in the topology of the AS10, the autonomous system 10, and these are the codes. So passive, active, update, query, reply, etc. So everything should be passive right now. And let's see what other commands, just for, we can do interface. So we can see the interfaces that are associated with the peers. We have the 2 serial, that's the peers between the 2 routers. Okay, and let's see if we can do question mark here. We can just do 1, 10, I think, right? And so that's that. Okay, so let's do one more command before we end the video. Let's do, we did neighbor, let's see traffic. We can see that the hello messages sent between the 2 routers, because EIGRP is pretty much a hybrid protocol. So it sends, and it also sends and receive hello messages. So pretty much that is it. That's going to conclude this video. It's a very basic EIGRP setup. Hopefully hopefully guys, this has been helpful for you. If you have any questions on how to configure this, if you have any errors or you're running into any trouble, shoot me a comment below. Reach out to me on my social media. Any way you can get in touch with me, I'm here to help. I want to give back. So reach out to me any way you want. And I want to do an OSPF routing video. So just stay tuned. Today is Christmas Eve, so I don't know if I want to get into it maybe until Friday, but that's about it for this video. And thank you for viewing, and have a Merry Christmas to the world. And appreciate it again, and thank you for checking me out. Have a good one, Des.